Did you know that there are some everyday foods that could potentially increase your risk of heart attack and stroke? Even if you prioritize a healthy diet, you might unknowingly be consuming these hazardous foods on a daily basis. That's how sneaky they are. And guess what? Over the years, there have been numerous studies, experiments, and tests conducted to establish connections between certain foods and detrimental health outcomes. Researchers determined that these foods seemingly hide their true impact beneath their seemingly appetizing appearances. No matter how good they look, they're just waiting to jeopardize your heart. In fact, they're literal heartbreakers. These foods are cunning, like a siren tempting you with their appetizing allure. But don't worry, you can possess the wisdom to resist their deceitful charms. That's why we're here today. We're going to unveil the 7 most dangerous foods that you should avoid, especially if you want to minimize the risk of heart attack or stroke. But just a quick heads up. This video is purely for educational purposes. It's not intended to replace medical advice or treatment. Remember to always consult with your healthcare provider for personalized guidance. So, what are the 7 deadly foods that can trigger a stroke or heart attack? Number 1. Sugary food and drinks. When we consume sugary foods and drinks like sodas, candies, and high-sugar snacks, our blood sugar levels spike rapidly. This triggers the release of insulin, which is a hormone that helps regulate blood sugar. But here's the thing. Constantly experiencing spikes in blood sugar levels can lead to insulin resistance over time. But what makes it harmful? See, insulin resistance happens when our cells don't respond effectively to insulin, causing the release of inflammatory chemicals and free radicals. These substances can harm our cells. They can also negatively impact the lining of our blood vessels and contribute to the formation of plaques in our arteries. These plaques then make our arteries narrow and harden, which reduces blood flow and increases the risk of blood clots. And guess what? It can lead to serious heart-related conditions like coronary artery disease and heart attacks. Sounds bad, right? Well, we're not yet done. Excessive sugar consumption can also raise your triglyceride levels and lower your HDL cholesterol levels, both of which are linked to heart disease. And of course, having too much sugar in your body plays a major role in the development of obesity and type 2 diabetes. That's not all. Did you know that consuming excessive amounts of sugar can also contribute to high blood pressure? In particular, it has been linked to increased systolic and diastolic blood pressure, which is a significant risk factor for heart disease. So, let's not be fooled by sugar's sweet allure. While it may taste good, it can have negative consequences. By cutting back on added sugars, we can help lower these risks and promote better heart health in the long run. And the next time you're tempted to grab a sugary drink on a hot day, remember that beneath its sweet surface lies a threat not only to your waistline, but also to your cardiovascular well-being. Remember, sodas, fruit-flavored drinks, and energy drinks are loaded with added sugars that can fuel inflammation, obesity, and diabetes. And these all increase the chances of heart disease and strokes. Number 2, trans fat, especially margarine. Did you know that margarine, as well as some baked goods, have a hidden weapon called trans fats? These sneaky little things can increase harmful LDL cholesterol and decrease the good HDL cholesterol, which can then lead to heart diseases and strokes. Now, you might be wondering why margarine is specifically a threat. Well, margarine is made by partially hydrogenating unsaturated vegetable oils, which turns them into a spreadable form. This is what allows us to put it on toast and other yummy treats. But the catch is that this hydrogenation process creates trans fats that raise LDL levels and lower HDL levels. And as you now know, these are bad for your heart. Even though people might claim margarine to be safe because of incomplete hydrogenation, don't be fooled. In fact, we really urge you to avoid consuming margarine. Your heart will thank you for it. Number 3, soup in cans. Did you know that canned soups hide a sneaky saboteur? It's excessive sodium and it can cause some serious trouble. This seemingly innocent ingredient can raise your blood pressure, putting extra strain on your heart and increasing your risk of getting heart disease or stroke. And here's what's even more disturbing. Some canned soups actually have sodium content that's more than half of the recommended daily limit, which is 2,300 milligrams of sodium for healthy adults without chronic illnesses. To be precise, a single cup of soup may contain 3 cups worth of salt. That's a lot, right? And that excessive amount of sodium can lead to water retention, which will make your high blood pressure even worse. So, as tempting as those canned soups may be, especially with their convenience and flavor, it's best to resist them. They can wreak havoc on your heart, and we definitely want to avoid that, don't we? When you're craving a warm bowl of soup on a chilly day, try to opt for homemade or low-sodium options. Your heart will thank you for making that choice. Quick pause. If you're finding this video useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right now so you don't miss out on future videos like this. Number 4. Food from fast food chains. As you know, fast food really isn't good for our health. We all know that, right? But what you might not know is that French fries and fried chicken are the ultimate culprits. They're loaded with trans fats and saturated fats, which can seriously mess with our hearts. They do it by clogging up our arteries and raising our bad cholesterol levels, increasing the risk of heart disease and stroke. And that's not even the worst part. Fast food is also notorious for being packed with crazy amounts of sodium. Just the presence of salt alone in those dishes can jack up our blood pressure and mess with our hearts. But you know what's really messed up? These fast food places know our taste buds are totally hooked on that combo of salt and sugar. So they add that combination to most of their food. That's a total win for the food industry, but a major loss for our health. We mentioned earlier that consuming too much trans fats, sugar, and sodium is seriously bad news for our bodies. And when fast food joints combine all that into one dish, it's like a recipe for disaster. So when you're tempted by those mouth-watering fries or that crispy fried chicken, just take a minute to think about what you're really choosing. Are you supporting the processed food industry, or are you putting your own health first? We believe you know what's the best choice, and we know you'll choose right. Number 5. Red meats, particularly beef, pork, and lamb. Who doesn't love a good beef steak, pork, or lamb chop? Just the thought of these mouth-watering treats can make your mouth water. Picture them sizzling on the grill, filling the air with their irresistible aroma. And oh, the tender juiciness with every bite. They're so hard to resist. But hey, as much as we enjoy indulging in these savory delights, it's important to be aware of how they can affect our health. See, consuming too much red meat has been linked to an increased risk of atherosclerosis, a condition where plaque builds up in our arteries. It also leads to various cardiovascular diseases, and these health issues can have long-term effects and impact our overall well-being. Now, here's a bit of good news. It's totally okay to enjoy these tasty meats once in a while. But let's remember moderation and balance in our diet. And if you really can't resist it, opt for leaner cuts of meat. That way, you can still savor their flavor while keeping your future health in mind. That said, red meat is not the only meat you should be wary of. Number 6. Processed meats, including salami, canned meat, and hot dogs. Processed meats, with their snappy casings, can be quite sneaky when it comes to your health. These tasty yet treacherous treats are loaded with saturated fats and sodium, just like their fast food buddies. And you know what? They can team up to give your blood pressure a not-so-nice boost, putting your cardiovascular health at risk. To make matters worse, the saturated fats in processed meats work hard to raise your LDL or bad cholesterol levels, which can contribute to the development of plaque in your arteries. This buildup of plaque can restrict blood flow and increase the likelihood of heart issues. But wait, there's more. The crazy amount of sodium present in processed meats can further exacerbate the problem. Too much salt can cause your body to retain excess water, leading to elevated blood pressure. This dangerous combination of high saturated fats and sodium is a burden that your heart won't appreciate. Number 7. Alcoholic drinks. Finally, let's chat about the age-old tradition of excessive drinking. Yep, we're talking about downing excessive amounts of alcohol. While it may be tempting to raise a glass with your friends and loved ones, it's important to do so in moderation. Consuming too much alcohol, especially vodka and other spirits, can lead to a whole range of health issues. Heavy drinking is linked to high blood pressure, which significantly raises the risk of heart disease. The added strain on the heart and blood vessels can have serious consequences, like stroke and other heart problems. Plus, chronic alcohol abuse can weaken the heart muscles, causing a condition called alcoholic cardiomyopathy. This condition messes with the heart's ability to pump blood effectively, potentially leading to heart failure. And that's not all. Alcohol can mess with your heart's electrical system, causing irregular heart rhythms or arrhythmias. These disruptions further increase the risk of stroke or sudden cardiac arrest. It's also worth noting that excessive alcohol consumption can also compromise the immune system, contribute to weight gain, and mess with cholesterol levels. And all of these have a significant impact on cardiovascular health. So, don't let the allure of a cold beer or peer pressure from pals tempt you. Stay strong and say no to alcohol. And now let's explore some of the best foods to prevent heart diseases naturally. Click on this video now to find out.